enough to catch their own prey gather here beneath the podcast for a clan meeting. Welcome to Paws and Clause, a podcast where we read the Warrior Cats books in chronological order. I'm Scout, joined by my co-host and angsty cat RPer, Jill, and today we will be discussing a Starless Clan Book 1, River. Hello, my friend.
Hell yeah. Hello. Can't believe it. We are finally at a point where neither of us have read the book.
Yes,
or read ahead of time.
Yeah, I was thinking today that actually we've come full circle back to where we started, because it's been so long that we've been doing the podcast. I forgot that neither of us had read Dawn of the Clans either.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, but
this feels different because it's ahead of the timeline that we all know as well.
Exactly. Because, Dawn of the Clans, sure, it was all new to us, but we kind of knew where it was going to end up.
True. We knew
the clans were going to form.
We knew the clans were coming. Now, I don't know if it's a spoiler, but we knew the clans were going to start. Yeah, and we had a little bit of knowledge of it from having read Power of Three, where we had the J Feather past bits. Yeah. But yeah, and I was thinking today, this is the first time also that I've had that we've been reading point of view characters that I have no previous knowledge of, because a lot of times with the extra side stuff, like the super editions and the novellas, they're characters that we're aware of from the primary books. But I think this is the first time since maybe Goosefeather's Curse and Pine Star's Choice that I am reading about characters that I have no context for, really. Yeah. I mean, we know Flamepaw on account of him kind of being in the background of ThunderClan in the previous arc, but not this Flamepaw. Yeah, he was barely in the background too. Yeah, we had no characterization of him. But how has the prey been running for you, my friend? Well, the prey has been running pretty decent, I would say. Yesterday, as of our recording, yesterday was Valentine's Day, and I made a homemade chicken Alfredo. Ooh. With crispy, shallow fried chicken cutlets with panko breadcrumbs on them. Delicious. That sounds incredible. Choice. It was so good. Yum. And I also bought, I got us a bottle of wine and some cannoli. And we enjoyed a nice dinner and watched a movie. And it was a great time. Yeah, that sounds awesome. I was just watching the episode of Bake Off last night where they made cannoli. And I was like, man, I could go for a cannoli right now. I fucking love a cannoli. I haven't eaten enough cannoli in my life. Tiramisu is my favorite dessert. Mm-hmm. Cannoli, I think, is one of Eric's. I think if there's a couple of other cakes that I think, depending on the situation, he will prefer over a cannoli, but he's a big cannoli fan. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, yeah, I'll get some cannoli for. Heck yeah. It was so good. It feels like it's hard to beat fried dough with some kind of cream in it. That's so true. History's figured it out. Yeah. That sounds so delicious, and what a lovely Valentine's Day that sounds like. Yeah, it was very nice. What about you? Any culinary adventures this past week? I made the classic, which I have spoken about on the podcast before. I made more, which is a casserole that consists of 2 casserole recipes smashed together like a Frankenstein. Perfect. No notes. I put mushrooms in it for the first time, and I forgot to put. I went to the store. I picked up a couple of ingredients, but one of the ingredients I picked up was corn, because usually it has some sweet corn in it. Mm-hmm. And then I also got mushrooms, which I've never put in it before, because it's very much a recipe where it's we're gonna throw some stuff at it and we're gonna see what happens. And I got so wrapped up in the preparation of how I wanted to add the mushrooms that I inevitably forgot to put the sweet corn in. But I think it actually was better for it because I think that with the flavor profile that it ended up having, it was better. It was very much like an elevated hamburger helper.
Nice.
Came out very tasty.
I love the concept of this, but I will say recently I have seen a lot on TikTok the reaction image of like a casserole filled with nonsense, and the caption on the image is just, "I just made some bullshit."
That's it. That's what the recipe's like. That's casserole culture to me.
Yeah. So I'm sorry for writing this in the notes.
I see the note that you've written. Would you like to read it for the class?
Yeah, today is episode 6-7. That's for our youth audience that definitely exists.
For the youth demographic.
I'm so sorry for this.
No, it's okay. While I am I'm either too old or too offline or both to fully grasp what's going on with 6-7, I appreciate that the youth have a funny number because I think that's important culturally.
I agree. Poor 68 though.
Some next one's got to be 68. 68's really getting left out the party. We got 6-7. We got 6-9.
He's
it's
just in the middle, like these fucking goobers.
It's all those times at 7, 8, 9. You know, it's like we can't.
It's true.
We can't let 8 in here, or we're gonna have a problem again. There's gonna be an incident.
Have a fucking situation. So I have some merch news.
Yes, tell us about merch.
So there's actually quite a bit. So there's some folks in our Discord have posted stuff for the next series of their mystery figures that have 4 mystery cats. I'm pissed off, and I'll tell you why in a second.
Okay.
But some of the cats that are on there are Cloudtail, Feathertail, Ivypool, Jayfeather, Ravenpaw, Squirrelflight, Tawny Pelt, and Tiger Star. They all look very fun. Jayfeather's got a stick. Ravenpaw has a little snake. Tiger Star is doing a big old growl. They're very fun. Mm-hmm. We've also got more mini mystery plushes. We're doing another Firestar on these.
Yeah, we're doing Rusty mode Firestar, which did we need this? Mm-hmm. But, you know, he's got the clout, I guess.
It honestly looks the exact same on that image to the, Series 1 plush, just has a collar. I do like that they have Sandstorm in there. That's nice. That one also has 4 mystery ones. And then we're gonna have the big mystery plushes as well. And they have the mystery charms, which I think are very cute.
I really like the dangling charms.
Yeah, I really enjoy those. I love how they have multiple danglies on them.
Each of them has a unique little additional dangly that's character specific, like Jayfeather has
and
a
they have
Jayfeather and stuff.
Their clan symbol.
The clan symbol is great as well.
Love those. They're very cute.
I would make my backpack prohibitively loud with these if I was a kid.
Yeah, trust me. I have this Eat a Bag that I ordered is arriving soon, and it is shaped like a refrigerator.
Yes.
So that it's supposed to be putting stuff up on the refrigerator, and it's supposed to have room for plushies and stuff. I'm like, damn, what if I just made it a Warrior Cats bag for going to certain events or whatever?
Hell yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
In personal news, I was able to find the new merch at my local store.
At last.
So I was financially irresponsible. And I did buy the full box of both the minifigures and the plushes. The reason I'm upset about the fact that they have 4 on there that are complete mysteries, and I get it, this is a blind box, this is how they get you, whatever. For the plushes, if you buy the set of, I think it was 9 plushes in the box that they are in the display box,
mm-hmm.
you're guaranteed to get one of all of them with an extra.
Mm-hmm.
I assumed the same would be true for the figures.
Mm-hmm.
That was not correct. Because as it turns out, I did not realize Spotted Leaf is classified as rare.
But they've got rarities?
So Spotted Leaf is classified as rare, which means she will take, I assume, in the box, in like some boxes, she will take the place of one of the uncommon ones, which are Silverstream and Cinderpelt.
Gotcha.
So I did not get a Spotted Leaf. And I was like, damn. I mean, I'm not like Spotted Leaf's biggest fan.
Yeah, I was going to say, of anybody to miss, Spotted Leaf is probably...
Of anybody to miss, yeah. However, I was like, well, maybe I could like buy her secondhand or something. Hey, gamers. Scout, we're going to play a little game.
Okay.
I have a recently sold Mercari listing for the Warrior Cat Spotted Leaf figure on Mercari. I would like you to guess how much she sold for.
Oh.
Keep in mind. Here's the information. A single blind box of the Warrior Cat, so one figure, is about $6 US.
Okay. $6 USD. Surely it can't be more than 100.
It is not more than 100.
Okay. Is it 60?
It is more than 60.
More than 60. More than 60. More than 10 times more expensive.
Yeah.
Is it $83.95?
That's such a crazy guess. No, it did sell for $65.
65.
But there are other listings for her at $80.
That's too expensive. Oh, buddy. It's sold
Gamers.
for 65.
It's sold for $65. There are current listings for $80.
Yikes.
Now, I would like to say, so I did, before recording, I did open my boxes. Henceforth, I knew that I did not have her. So I did open my boxes, and I did get my figures out. And I will say, for a $6 Warrior Cast figure, they're pretty good.
Nice.
They got a couple of, it's very clear that, some of the detail printing is not the greatest. Firestar's little tabby M is kind of off center there.
He's he's not in focus, but I believe you.
You can at least tell, his paws maybe are not stamped properly.
Yeah, a little bit off there.
They're a little bit off. However, they're sturdy. They're really nice feeling. They got really cool poses.
Yeah, they're not hollow, right? They are solid plastic.
Yeah, they are solid. The casting is pretty cool. I was gonna say overall they are pretty good quality for cheap figures.
Yeah, and I was gonna say one of the
as someone who collects figures, they're pretty decent quality.
Nice. One of the things that I noticed about them that was surprising to me is how they do seem to have each character has a unique mold. A lot of times with this sort of thing, the paint details might be different, but the molds would be the same. But they all have individually sculpted molds.
Yes, each character is unique, which I really like. I think that's a really nice thing. And therefore, I will continue to buy them as they continue to make them. But I am simply agog and aghast at the fact that somebody has purchased Spotted Leaf for $65 American dollars.
I can see Scourge peeking out from behind your shoulder.
Yeah.
Your plushies are back there. There they are.
Yeah, hold on. I'll show off the plushies too. I actually do really like the little mini plushies. I didn't want to get the big ones because the big ones I just don't like as much.
The sit pose is so much better than the laying down pose to me.
The sit pose is very good. The Hawk Frost.
Look at the tufts.
He's incredible. He is his little chest fluff is so soft. Love him. Tallstar has the longest fucking tail. It's so long.
That's great.
It fits around him whole body.
Wow.
We've got Bramblestar. It has his smirk.
Look at him.
Of course, our man Firestar. The rusty one is gonna look exactly like this, but with a collar. Yeah. Honestly. We have Yellowfang, who's very floofy.
Ooh. she's so dark.
I know. We have Graystripe, who has like an incredibly fluffy tail, but the rest of him is not terribly fluffy.
A squirrel tail, very cute.
He does. I really love he's got little ear tufts inside of the ears,
yes.
which I think is very cute.
The inner ear floofs.
And then we have Scourge, as you mentioned.
I love his angry eyes so much.
I love the Scourge plushie. I think he might be... I think Hawkfrost is definitely my favorite of these, but Scourge is up there.
Yeah.
And then we have the wonderful... Brightheart plushie, and she's got a little scar on her back, and she's got her little face scar. Her ears really cool. I think they did a really good job, especially with the Brightheart merch on this line. I think all of the Brighthearts have been really, really incredible looking. I really enjoy them.
I'm just so proud of Brightheart for how iconic she has become as like a Warrior Cats merch character, because she shows up in merch so often, so much more often than her really general role in the books would assume she would have. So I'm just proud of her for that she's so iconic that even though she really ends up being a background character primarily, she sticks with us and she keeps showing up.
She truly dominates the merch, honestly.
Every single merch run has a Brightheart, and I think that's beautiful.
Firestar doesn't have a mug. Do you know who has a mug? Brightheart has a mug.
And you can take your eyes out with her.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for that tour of the merch.
I know. Unfortunately, you all in the audience are only getting the audio, but I feel like perhaps this little review will help you decide whether or not you want to go try and find them yourselves.
You should put up a picture when this episode drops of your haul so that everybody can see all the little guys.
My haul, yes. And so there is one mystery plush that I do not know what it is, because I didn't open it as soon as I got all 8 of the ones that there were, because I was like, okay, this is the extra one, it's a mystery, and I'm like, I'm gonna send this one to Scout. Ooh. So Scout, you will be receiving a mystery plush in the mail one of these days soon.
I'm excited because I didn't realize that even you didn't know what it was. I thought you had opened all of them and knew what the last one was, but it is fully obscured from us.
Yes. Now, I did have to open all the little boxes of the figures, but you are getting a figure, but I will know what that one is. Hee hee. But you won't. Of course. So, very fun stuff. I'm really pleased with the merch that they've been releasing, and especially really pleased that it's like in actual stores.
Yeah, we're really eating well with the merch right now. I mean, we've been saying for basically since we started this podcast that we wished that the American merch especially was more robust, and it seems like we're finally getting that, which is I guess it's because the graphic novel adaptations of the first arc have done like incredibly well.
Remarkably well.
Really, really well, like topping their category on the New York Times bestsellers charts for extended periods of time. I'm really, really pleased that they're doing so well. Speaking of books, should I take us on a little cover journey real quick?
Yeah, please do.
I discovered that this series, this arc, Starless Clan, seems to have been, or maybe is being, I'm not sure, released in a serialized format in China.
Interesting.
They're being released like in magazines. It seems like there's like, it was released over 4 volumes, and each volume has its own unique cover. And I think these covers are so cool. I'm going to make them bigger for you.
Ooh. Oh, they're adorable.
I know. I really like the style. It almost feels very much like an American comic book in a lot of ways. But a little bit more, slightly more painterly in places. But we got some great ones. We've got like Flamepaw ringed by his family, like poking out of a bunch of leaves. I love the quality of these leaves.
They're really nice.
That are all over sort of framing this stuff. And then there's another one that's Flamepaw with a couple other characters. We've got Bramblestar looking very tired back there in the top right. I like him a lot. And then on volumes 3 and 4, we have Frostpaw and her sort of characters.
Situation.
Yeah, her whole situation is featured. On the third one there's a cat falling through the sky, which is kind of sick. I think maybe it's supposed to be Misty Star, but I'm not sure.
I don't know either, but it's very fun.
It's really good. And then the last one is so cool. With Frostpaw sort of up this tree and Curlfeather about to be got by a dog, and like the feathers. So these really surprised me. I think they're so cool and fun.
Really lovely.
I really like the way Mothwing is drawn on these back 2 covers as well.
She is incredible.
She's looking so good.
Ethereal queen.
With the big long ear tufts and the long fur as well. So yeah, these really surprised me and delighted me. And I'm so excited to see more of them for the future books.
And I will say, we are moving away on the covers, on the American covers. We are moving away from big headshot land. And I do appreciate that we actually are kind of getting more of an environmental scene on this cover.
Though I found out when according to the wiki, this is Misty Star that is primarily like the main character on the front. I thought for sure it was Frostpaw, and I was like, really? We're doing Misty Star? All right, I guess.
So again, with the weird choices.
Yeah. And then the 3 in the back are our trio of perspective characters.
Okay.
But I thought that's
really not that clear, huh?
No, they're very muddy in the background. You can't see them.
They're airbrushed to all hell is the thing.
They are, yeah. There's so much. These are the American covers are very much in that airbrush style. Owen Richardson always very much in that. That's just like the kind of.
That's just his style.
Of style that he uses. But yeah, I'm so excited to talk about this, and I had a great time reading it. I suppose that's a spoiler for our overall thoughts section, but excited to talk about it. And you have anything else before I take us to the summary?
No, I don't.
All right, here we go. A new tale awaits. As stability is regained in the wake of Ashfur's defeat, 3 young cats across ShadowClan, ThunderClan, and RiverClan begin their stories. Sunbeam, a conscientious ShadowClan warrior, suffers through a cascade of interpersonal turmoils. First, she has a falling out with her best friend Lightleap after reporting her for reckless behavior, a pattern she's fallen into since her failure to travel into the Dark Forest left her with a host of insecurities. Then, when Sunbeam enlists the help of her longtime crush, Blazefire, to try and mend her friendship with Lightleap, she soon discovers the 2 of them are spending a suspiciously significant amount of time together, culminating in a foolhardy hunting accident that leaves Blazefire laid up with a broken leg. During his convalescence, Blazefire breaks it off with Sunbeam. Not, he claims, because of Lightleap, but because he simply feels he and she aren't suited for each other, no matter how much he wishes otherwise. Parallel to Sunbeam's heartbreaks, the clans have been discussing the proposed amendments to the Warrior Code, which include a new rule allowing cats to legally change clans for their cross-territory mates, provided they pass a test of commitment. The rule is approved by all 5 leaders and StarClan, but remains divisive among the populace. Sunbeam's brother, Spireclaw, reveals that he has a sweetheart in SkyClan, Fringewhisker. When she passes her test and is admitted to ShadowClan, their mother Berryheart is especially displeased, enough so that Sunbeam worries things could get ugly in the future. She at least finds a little solace at gatherings, sharing her worries with a surly ThunderClan apprentice. That apprentice is Flamepaw, son of Sparkpelt, grandson of Squirrelflight, and great-grandson of Firestar, for whom he is named. The weight of his bloodline is an albatross around his neck, brought up ad nauseum by those around him. While his sister and other peers pass their warrior assessment, he struggles, flunking once when his attempts to perform exceptionally backfire, then again when he doesn't meet the standards of the clan deputy, aka his grandmother. Squirrelflight remains very active in the leadership of the clan. Though Bramblestar is back, his time separated from his body in the dark forest clearly weighs heavily on him. It may even be hindering his capacity as leader. But that's probably fine. I'm sure the other new code amendment regarding the deposition of leaders via a 2/3 majority interclan vote won't be relevant to ThunderClan anytime soon. When Flamepaw finally passes his third warrior assessment, the joy of accomplishment is soured by yet more comments about his family, ignoring the personal effort he's put into earning his place. Fed up, he halts his own naming ceremony, refusing the name Bramblestar gives, Flameheart after his great-grandfather. Though his defiance causes a hubbub, his clan leader is very sympathetic to his feelings. He changes the name to better capture the young cat's individuality and calls him Nightheart. Meanwhile, in RiverClan, newly apprenticed medicine cat Frostpaw struggles under her responsibilities, especially as, due to her mentor Mothwing's spiritual disconnect, she must bear the weight of interpreting StarClan's will entirely on her own. Her mother, Curlfeather, is very supportive, but often implies she expects great things for her daughter, ambitions that Frostpaw herself doesn't share. All she wants is a normal apprenticeship, but that dream is immediately dashed when Misty Star collapses during a clan meeting, losing her final life on the same day her son and deputy Reed Whisker goes missing. Finally, following instructions from StarClan, Frostfur leads a patrol to find Reed Whisker, but he is long dead by the time they arrive, having fallen into a ravine and broken his neck. Or so everyone supposes, disregarding the strange-looking scratches along his back. Unmoored from the usual rite of succession, a desperate RiverClan sends Frostpaw off to the Moonpool yet again, seeking guidance. StarClan sends her a sign in the form of a curled white feather rimmed with ice, which is reinforced by a dream later that night, where hundreds of these feathers become birds, taking flight in a flurry of wings. She interprets this to mean Curlfeather is meant to lead them. But on the way to her 9 Lives ceremony, mother and daughter are besieged by dogs, and Curlfeather dies, pushing her to safety. Her last words an ominous warning to trust no cat. With the clan in chaos, Mothwing admits that they cannot solve this problem on their own. They need the other clans.
Fucking banger. What the hell? Like, I immediately was like, hey, what the fuck are we doing? This setup for an arc, I'm so excited to see where this goes, because this is some fucking crazy political bullshit is happening in all 3 of the protagonist stories.
Yes! There's so much to chew on here already, and
yeah.
Like you said, you called it a setup. A lot of times the setup books we talk about, we criticize them as being some of the weakest in the arcs, but this felt like it was setting up a lot better than a lot of the setup books do.
I will say my one gripe with this book is I like that we have these different storylines that we're following, but it feels like the switch between, like, each character is so quick, and I'm like, well, can we please, like, follow what Frostpaw's doing for another, like, 1 chapter, please? Like, can we focus on this for a second? Because I was finding the RiverClan stuff to be, honestly, so much more compelling than what Nightheart had going on.
Yeah.
That, like, when it went from Frostpaw to Nightheart, I'm like, man, I just want to know what she's doing.
I want to know what the fuck is going on in RiverClan.
Yeah.
This is truly the what the fuck is going on in RiverClan book.
Yes.
The whole time it really is. Like, I really am glad that we have 3 characters as point of view. I really like when we have a majority, or when we have multiple perspectives. But so much of this book was me being like, but what the hell is going on in RiverClan? What's going on with Frostpaw? Like, I could have done a whole book of just that stuff.
Exactly. But overall, I really enjoyed this book.
Yeah, I had a great time with it. It flew by. I mean, it's not...
Yeah, it's a very short book.
It's not thick, but I think that's to its benefit.
Yes.
I think overall, the pacing of this felt right. Aside from that, some of the storylines were definitely more interesting than the others. I suppose we'll talk about it, but shout out to Sunbeam, who had definitely the least to do in this book. Yeah, but I had a great time, and there was a lot of stuff that happened in here that really surprised me. I mean, I know very little about this arc. There's definitely some bits and pieces that I've picked up, but none of them, I cannot yet see how any of the pieces that I've picked up tie into what we're getting in this book. So I'm very interested.
Yeah, I know of some vague things that happen, and that's just because in this day and age, it's hard to avoid all of the spoilers, and especially when we have to do research and such.
Yeah,
when a cat is an apprentice, you find out their warrior name or lack thereof pretty quickly when you're doing research. So there's definitely some things that I know are kind of a focus in this arc. I know that the political aspect is the biggest thing that I think people have taken away from it, is the political through lines are going to continue, and I'm very excited about that.
Yes.
But overall, the details, the nitty-gritty details of the characters and their storylines, I absolutely have no idea.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, and I know this is a note you have later on, but I'll be honest, I thought we were setting Curlfeather up to be an arc-long villain.
Yes.
Of she's pulling a Hawkfrost and manipulating everything to get her daughter to take power, and then she fucking dies and is don't trust anyone. I'm oh, okay, so that's not where we're going.
Yeah, I was absolutely whoa, what do we do? This is not where I thought this was going at all.
I really enjoyed that, because I was okay, she's acting a little suspicious. And then I was, as they're going up to the moon pool, I'm okay, something's gonna happen. There's gotta be, there's no way this is gonna go off without a hitch. And then I'm oh, but she fucking dies? Okay, crazy. Okay.
Yeah, I was expecting that it was going to end with, a failed 9 Lives ceremony.
Yes, I was expecting StarClan to be no, this is not who we want leading.
Yeah, you got it wrong, which I've put together what the sign actually is.
I've connected the dots.
I've connected the 2 dots. I've connected them. But yeah, I was flabbergasted when that happened, and when it happened 3 pages from the end of the book.
Right? It's you end on that? Okay, crazy.
let's
sure.
let it go. There was all of the stuff that happened. Okay, wait. No, hold on. I'm going back because
we have to go back.
That's plot
Lost
stuff.
Reference.
I want to do first impressions of our 3 new protagonists, because we got 3 new guys.
I hate to be another male protagonist hater.
You're not big on Flamepaw yet / Nightheart.
I know he's gonna grow on me, because of course they always do. But at the beginning here, I'm all right, bud, you're a little bit he's definitely, and he's not even the youngest of the 3, but he's definitely the least mature. Yeah. I feel.
I think that is correct.
I think Sunbeam also has some issues for me, especially on the maturity side. But Flamepaw, Nightheart, I feel his internal dialogue was not as compelling to me or not compelling, but not as palatable to me as Sunbeam's was.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel for him though.
Yeah,
that sucks, bro. But he seems overly harsh on his mother and his sister, which I kind of was yes, Sparkpelt was not around when he was a kid, and I do not blame him for harboring resentment there. But when she does genuinely try and make an effort, he's
he's not generous to her.
No, he's not.
And I think that she is not doing, I don't think she's doing anything that really deserves the scrutiny he's giving her.
Exactly.
And that might just be like, maybe that's an issue with the writing itself more than it is with Flamepaw as a character. It's hard to know. But it feels like Flamepaw is being meaner to her than is really warranted in those moments.
Yeah, but I'm sure he'll grow on me. They always do, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't like Root Spring at first, so.
And now he's your boy.
And now he's my boy and my son.
Yeah. Basically the one thing I knew about Flamepaw, I mean, I knew about the name change, which is that Flamepaw goes...
Making his name Flameheart was really out of pocket. I'm sorry.
It was.
Because it is no secret that he does not like being compared to Firestar.
Yeah.
And to name him Flameheart, like, bro.
Bramblestar does not have it in this book.
That.
We got, like, I have deep sympathies for Bramblestar. He really does not have it anymore.
No.
And that's something else that I want to talk about later. But yeah, so the pivot from Flamepaw to Nightheart I knew about. And the other thing I knew about him was that a lot of people call him like the very edgy or rude protagonist. And that is true, but I will say I think Flamepaw in this book to me is way more palatable than Jayfeather in the first book of Power of Three. I think he is really like is much more justified in a lot of the feelings that he's having, and is generally more tolerable than a lot of what J. Paw is doing in that first book. So I was kind of surprised. I was surprised by that, and surprised that I haven't seen sort of that comparison more often. But I like a lot of the texture going on with his story. I think that it's really interesting to explore expectations of your elders, being held to unfair standards, all of that stuff. Tying that into the Firestar legacy, I think is really fun and very effective. A lot of people talk about a trans narrative for Flamepaw. I can see where they get there. For me, it wasn't as, I didn't feel as strongly there as it just feels more like a story of generational trauma than it does a trans narrative. But I can understand the read.
Yeah, I am 100% with you there.
I'm curious if there will be any more stuff there that like makes me feel more strongly that has legs for me.
I do think his fucking first assessment that we see where he tries to be so fucking cool and just absolutely beefs it was pretty funny.
It was really funny. I felt for him.
He's like, I'm gonna parkour off this tree and catch a squirrel and that'll impress them. And it's like, dude, just do what you're asked to do and you'll be fine. Like, you don't have to show off.
It was agonizing to me that he passed by a bunch of easy prey because he was like, that's too easy. I want to catch something like big and impressive and hard. And I'm like, no, my God, you're gonna do it. You gotta just do the assignment.
Yeah.
And I mean, he does over the course of the story. One thing you can really say for him over the course of this book is that I do feel like, at least as far as his assessments go, there is a genuine,
there is some growth there.
You see the improvement in the growth there, which is good, because if that wasn't present, then his point of, I put in all this effort and people are still just saying that it's because my great grandpa was Firestar, wouldn't have the legs that it does.
I agree. Frostpaw. Wow, she's my immediate child. I'm adopting her. I'm holding her in my arms. Her mother, when we're first getting introduced to her, and Curlfeather is like reassuring her that like, no, you're gonna be great as a medicine cat. Like, this is what you were destined to do. And the way she's like, remember how you predicted your father's death? I'm like, hey, she's a kid. Can we that's crazy. That's crazy. That's wild to bring up. That was not only like the first moment of like, oh, this child is has the whole weight of the world on her shoulders. But I was also immediately like, Curlfeather, you're very eager about all of this.
Oh, yes. Curlfeather has an agenda.
She's got an agenda. So I was suspicious of Curlfeather from line 1.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which is why I think her death came as such a shock to me.
Yes, because it really felt like she was going to be doing the whole, like, setting up Frostpaw to get a lot of power so that she could then manipulate Frostpaw into doing the shit that she wanted to do.
Yeah, puppet leadership kind of stuff.
Puppet leadership. She was giving off such puppet leader vibes. Now she's been bitten to death by dogs.
Yes. Just absolutely to shreds, you say.
Shreds. I think literally they say like her mother's being torn to shreds. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Oof. Listen, we've done it 3 arcs in a row. I'm not tired of it. Give me another medicine cat burned by responsibility. I'll eat it up. I love it. Yeah. That's my shit. I'll take it. Yum, 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 yum.
Another, please.
Another. I'll take it. Give me the 3rd round. I love her. I am definitely going to become deeply attached to her. And I think it's a really fun angle to have this, see this, the connection with StarClan being a burden to her because it means taking on all of this responsibility as a novice because this is something that Mothwing cannot do. That is an angle that we never got with Willowshine. Willowshine always, that whole thing was always represented as being positive and not stressful and like fulfilling for Willowshine, that she was the one that could communicate with StarClan. And it's so interesting to have this other angle where Frostpaw is like, this is so much pressure. This is so much responsibility. Yeah. And she's right. And that's really fun.
I agree. I will say, I think the one thing that I was like a little wary about with her storyline is how we don't really get like, except for like a moment with Leopard Star, we don't really get to see her connecting with StarClan as much, which just makes me concerned. I'm sure they will move more into her connection, but like it made me very concerned. Like, we're not gonna have another Shadow Sight moment, please. Like, where it's like you're not like StarClan is back. That was the whole point of the last arc. Like, we should not have issues communicating with them again. That would feel too repetitive to me if that like becomes the thing. And like, I'm not saying they have to, tell her exactly like, oh, it should be this cat, because obviously it should be the cats who are alive to interpret like not only the signs but their own like feelings and whatnot. But it would have been nice to have seen like a little bit more of a connection with StarClan there.
Yeah, there is clearly like the way that her scenes with StarClan are written are totally different from previous arc scenes with StarClan that we've seen, where it does seem very tenuous and vague, more so than previous arcs. And I don't know if that's maybe a side effect of the way that the new writing team wants to like emphasize this, but we still have Cherith Baldry in the driver's seat for this. So it's probably more likely to be intentional to set up like, ooh, what's going on? Is this really, it feels at moments where it's like, is this really StarClan or is this some other shit? And I like you hope that they don't just go to like, it's not StarClan again, because we just had that whole thing.
Yeah.
Sunbeam doesn't have a lot going on so far to me.
Yeah. She's kind of got the most mundane issues, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Because, she's just got an issue of her boyfriend is kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And she gets broken up with in such a like non-compassionate way.
Yeah. Also, there's
it's really rough.
There's no way that Light Leap was not a factor in this.
Oh, come on now. He's literally like, you're not exciting enough for me when he's out like adrenaline rush hunting with Light Leap. Like,
either they're lying to Sunbeam or they're deeply in denial.
Yeah, there's something going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't have a ton going on right now.
Yeah.
I don't hate her, but I am also not like as thrilled about like her stuff that's going on.
She was the one where every time we shifted perspective to a Sunbeam chapter, I was like, okay. I mean, and not because of her at all, but really it is because the other stuff that was going on with Flamepaw and Frostpaw was so much more interesting. There was like so much more plot stuff going on.
Yes.
I like the idea of her. I like the idea of her being a rule follower as sort of a character trait. I think that's something that can be played with in interesting ways. I didn't really feel that from her, except from in the moments when the narrative said it about her.
Yeah, I don't feel like she's as much of a rule follower as she is kind of like a cautious person.
Yeah.
Because it's less about rules and more about like throwing herself headlong into danger.
True. Yeah. And I like that. I mean, I'm a cautious person. So I identify with that.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Crazy.
You look at me and you think that's somebody that takes risks.
That's
surely.
Somebody who bungee jumps.
Oh, so I could identify with Sunbeam in that way. She just needs more, she needs more to do. And I think that we're getting there by the end of this book, we are getting this setup of like the tensions in Shadow Clan over the ability to change clans and like some sort of uprising that might happen there surrounding her mom. But for this particular book, I don't feel like I know enough about her to be really compelled.
Yeah, 100%. I did mark this page just for you. Brackenfur mention. Brackenfur is the only elder in ThunderClan.
No, Brighttail and Cloudtail.
Why the fuck does it say he's the only one there?
I don't know.
Anyway,
Cloudtail and Brightheart are also elders right now.
Oh, Thornclaw is listed as an elder, even though he's acting in a senior warrior capacity a lot here. But
yeah.
Anyway, never mind. Brackenfur is not the only elder. However, he is the only cat to make an appearance as an elder.
Yeah, he shows up. And he's
for Flamepaw.
I guess he's the only elder that's like in the Elder's Den at that point. Cloudtail and Brightheart probably off messing around,
smooching.
Yeah, exactly. They're still fooling around. They still have young hearts.
But yeah, Brackenfur mention for you.
That scene was cute, and I think everybody was overreacting a little bit as far as
I agree.
Letting Flamepaw let the kits help with cleaning out the bedding. That seems totally reasonable to like let them pull some dirty moss around.
And it's not like they were unsupervised. Brackenfur was right there.
Yeah, I thought that was out of pocket.
Yeah, that was uncalled for. The reactions to the code changing are interesting.
I had emotional whiplash because first it was relief that we actually were changing the code, that actually was happening, and then immediately slapped in the face by irritation at so many cats being so resistant to the changes.
And yeah, and it's like, were y'all not there at the end of the last book? Like, we went over this already.
I suppose the masses weren't, but we were as readers. But it
was at a gathering. They said that we're going to discuss this.
They said we're going to discuss it. That's true.
And so, like, the fact that everyone's like, I can't believe you guys are changing all these rules without letting us know. I'm like, no, they said something about it.
Yeah, I think the angle is that, like, only the people that were in the Dark Forest know for sure that...
yeah, and that's their issue, is, like, they don't trust that they actually talk to StarClan, which, like, okay, guys, can we pick a side?
We gotta stop with this.
Decisions need to be made.
I'm glad that at least like everybody argues about it, but it still gets done, which is very important to me.
Yeah.
But I'm so fascinated by how resistant all of these cats are to this stuff that generally will not affect them. Like, why is RiverClan getting in such a tizzy that like literally it gives Misty Star a heart attack about the fact that if they wanted to, they had the option to depose her if they had a majority and did that, when like Literally, you don't have to.
You don't have to. You literally, she's like, they're like, why are you telling us that we should depose you? And she's like, I'm not saying that you should. I'm saying that if I were to fuck up irreparably, you have the option.
Yeah, it's like those people that comment on recipes, like, what was it? It was like Bean Girl or something.
The bean soup theory?
Yeah, the bean soup theory. Yeah. Where somebody will talk about, like, put up a recipe for bean soup and all the comments will be like, but what if I don't like beans? What do I do if I don't like beans? Like, that's the vibe.
Exactly. 100%.
You just don't. You don't have to do it. You don't have to engage with it.
Just don't worry about it.
You don't have to worry about it. If your leader is fine, literally, it doesn't. Like, you don't have to think about it.
The fact that in Shadow Clan they're like so pissed off about cats being allowed to change clans when literally Dovewing has been there for like over a year now, and like she's still accepted. Like she's accepted by the clan. Like she is a part of the clan.
Tawny Pelt's the oldest fucking cat in the clan.
Tawny Pelt literally was like, did this before any of you fuckers were born.
It's so...
Like, can we calm down?
We gotta calm down. Like, we gotta calm down.
And like, they even bring these points up and they're like, well, that's you. That doesn't matter. We're talking about this new generation.
Yes, exactly. They're like, no, it doesn't. The past is the past.
The kids these days, these fucking millennials.
These millennials are destroying the cross-clan forbidden romance industry.
I know. Oh my lord.
What do you got?
I think that there is potential that will never see the light of day for Gull Swoop and Sunbeam Yuri.
Oh, I like that.
Gull Swoop is like, she's trying too hard to cheer Sunbeam up after Blazefire breaks up with her. Mm-hmm. And she's like trying a little too hard, but she's like, I don't know, she's like, wow, you're such a good hunter. You're like the best hunter in the like, it feels very like flirty. Mm-hmm. And she even does that before Sunbeam and Blazefire break up.
Right, when she just senses like, the wind.
It continues throughout. And I'm like, where is the Yuri? Please show it to me. I would like to see it.
Yeah. Well, I think we kind of have some other implied Yuri.
Yeah.
There's some very palpable doomed Yuri, old lady Yuri vibes with stuff that Mothwing says about Misty Star in this book.
Yeah. They, like, Mothwing gets a little, like, and by a little, I mean a lot, like, very emotional. And, like, there is reason for it. Like, they are very, like, they have been through a lot together. They are both, like, fairly old cats.
Very old.
But there were definitely some moments of, like, were y'all, like, a thing? Because kind of acting like you just lost your wife.
Literally, there's a line that Mothwing says that's like, I wish we wasted so much time when I was exiled from the clan. Which, like,
yeah,
it could be nothing.
Which could mean nothing.
It could mean nothing.
Which could mean nothing. I'm gonna go see if there's any Mothwing Misty Star on AO3.
Oh, there's gotta be. Misty Star at time of death was almost 16 years old.
That's so fucking crazy, dude. They do have 5 fics. There we go.
Only 5?
Only 5. Anyway.
Mothwing is...
She's still the prettiest cat in the clan. Even Frostpaw makes mention of, like, how beautiful Mothwing is. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that she's still, like, slaying.
Yeah. Mothwing is, spoilers, I guess, she's still alive. She makes it through. She is almost 12 now. So we also had, age gap romance.
Oh my god, problematic age gap?
Problematic age gap, old lady Yuri.
This is everything I want in my life.
But yeah.
Have I shown you that image that Eric shares with me every time?
I can't remember. Share it again, so show me.
Okay. It's from Law and Order, and it's, what's his name, yelling, and he's like, if you hypothetically went back 10 years, he would only be 15, you sick fuck.
Yes, that one. I love that one.
Very much this.
It might be something I've already said on the podcast before, but so often with problematic age gap discussions, I think immediately of my own parents who my mom is 8 years older than my dad. And also they had like a whirlwind romance when mom was still in the throes of like a messy divorce with her ex-husband, and dad had just gotten out of like a long-term relationship, and it was like a whole thing. There's so much shit in there that if anybody really like, if anybody read this in a book, they'd be like, this is so fucked up and problematic. All of this stuff, I can't believe these people are like so toxic, and they're the happiest married couple that I know, I think.
Yeah. Oh my god, incredible. I can't believe your whole existence is problematic, Scout.
I know, I'm a problematic I'm the child of a problematic marriage. Oh,
shame that.
Shame. So upon research, when I was looking up like trivia and stuff, I did find out that most of these things are specifically because I was reading a first edition hardback copy, but there was some brutal copy editing issues in this book. They were small.
Yeah,
but
the reviews were saying that too.
They were small, but they stuck out to me so much. The ones that really got me, the first line of the physical description about Frostpaw was wrong in the book. In her introductory chapter, when Curlfeather is grooming her, they describe her as like brown. They describe Frostpaw as brown and white, and I'm like, how do we miss that? And I know that they fixed it in later editions, but that it shipped with that was wild to me. I sent you this earlier. Lead bear instead of leaf bear was very funny. There's a line. I don't know if this one was fixed later, but there's a line where Squirrelflight is angry about Flamepaw saying he doesn't want the name Flameheart. And the line goes, her green eyes snapping fury. And that reads so much to me like somebody reworded the sentence and forgot to change a couple of words, and it just wasn't caught. And there's always been a lot of edit errors in these books, like, and these kinds of things happen. But I feel as though recently there's been like a lot of these mechanical errors versus narrative errors. And I don't know if this is just a side effect of me reading more physical editions that might be older because I've been getting them from the library a lot more than reading the digital editions. And so they're sticking out to me more than they did previously. Or it is a trend towards like just sloppier copy editing. But if it is sloppier copy editing, I'm curious as to why.
Yeah. No, when I was doing the StoryGraph research, which I'll talk about obviously later, there were a lot of comments on like, there are so many like copy editing errors in this book that it is distracting.
Yeah, they really stick out. You know, sometimes they don't stick out that much, but they really jumped out and like took me out of it in a way that I was like, this is that. I mean, maybe they're not getting a proofreader, you know, maybe it's just getting like one copy edit pass and then it's being shipped and they're not getting somebody to go over it again.
Who knows?
The publishing industry, like every industry, is certainly in the throes of despair. Issues, despair. My next note was a line about Alderheart. Alderheart had never been anything but kind, but he wasn't a father, is a thought that Flamepaw has about Alderheart. Correct, Flamepaw. He's actually a mother.
Exactly. Bitch, I'm a mother.
He's a mother. Get it right.
I really love the tension in ThunderClan surrounding Bramblestar.
So good.
Like, especially when there's like, he's like afraid to be pushy or make decisions because he worries that like, because he's got the trauma of having been taken over by Ashfur, but he's also trying to be respectful of the trauma everyone else has from being controlled by Ashfur. And it's so interesting.
It is.
And it just ends up being like, he just comes across as incompetent instead. And it's like so clearly pissing Squirrelflight off.
Yes. Squirrelflight is having a time. But it really is. I mean, there's that one scene is so tough and like well written. but the scene around the fresh kill pile in the rain, where Bramblestar gets a little snippy of like, come on, you guys are better hunters than this. You can do better than this. We're not going to be able, we need to be able to eat. And Twig Branch like cowers in front of him and says, I'm sorry, I'll go back out and I'll try and catch more. And I can't remember the other cat, but there's another cat there who also like defends her and runs off after her. And all of that stems from all of the stuff that the imposter made Twig Branch do in the previous arc. That's the hard thing too, is that Bramblestar can't know. He didn't see any of that stuff.
Exactly.
So sometimes he gets these reactions and he doesn't know what the context was. He just knows obviously something terrible happened, and that has to be the worst feeling.
Yeah.
So like he doesn't have it. He's not being a good leader right now, but I also feel for him so much. And I think that that's really, really well rendered. And
it really is interesting to me to like see that continue. Who knows where that's going to go?
Yeah. I really feel that there's a reason that they set up the, you can depose
a leader. Yeah.
I'm curious if it will actually come to that or if he'll end up stepping down.
Yeah.
Because I feel like one of those two has to happen.
I feel like personally, like it would make sense as a Chekhov's gun for that to be what happens, but I also feel like it would not be out of character based on how he is acting for Bramblestar to make the decision to step down.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, look, I can't do this anymore. I am too traumatized. I can't.
Yeah, I gotta step away. Yeah. It would be very interesting. I wonder if there's going to be a thing of like, well, we need 2/3 majority after somebody suggests it. What happens if the leader himself suggests it? Like, how does that affect?
Because the only one who can't suggest it is the deputy.
Right? So I wonder if they get into like, well, the leader can suggest it. I think that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll come to that, but
who knows?
Do you have anything that goes before my note about Mothwing's behavior? A little bit of Mothwing.
I don't think so. No. Mothwing.
So generally, I liked a lot of Mothwing in this book. There was one Mothwing thing that pissed me off in this book, and that was how last arc we had Shadowsight, you are too young and inexperienced to do literally anything despite graduating from medical school. You are having your privileges taken away. Now we get to her own apprentice, and she's going, Frostpaw, you have been a medicine cat for 2 whole weeks. I think it's time you start taking on major responsibilities, and I will not hear any complaints. Mothwing, what are we doing?
I feel like the issue with Shadowsight was definitely a like blaming him for all of the shit that has happened. However, I do think she's being a little bit it is definitely something to pick at when it comes to her own apprentice.
Yeah. She is putting a lot of pressure onto Frostpaw. Like Frostpaw is also getting a lot of pressure from her mom in this book. She's getting like pressured from both. She's being put in a pressure cooker from each side,
basically,
between Mothwing and Curlfeather. But it stuck out to me so much, and I'm cautious to even call it a purposeful characterization, because it also very much could be that Mothwing was fulfilling a role that they needed in the last arc, which was somebody to oppose Shadowsight's like authority and like ability to move around and to isolate. They needed last arc, they needed somebody to isolate Shadowsight. And this arc, they need somebody to push Frostpaw in particular ways. And they just happen to end up being the same cat. And so they're not really thinking about her past sort of takes versus her current takes. But either way, especially reading them back to back like this, pissed me off.
Yeah. I think my next note was Sparrowheart.
Yeah, I think my next note ties into that. So let's talk about Sparrowheart.
Wow. She says some things. She says some very problematic things.
Yeah.
Especially especially for someone whose like whole thing was wanting to become accepted again by Shadow Clan. She has a very weird hang up about letting other people come into the clan, and an even weirder hang up about my children should only be mates with other Shadow Clan cats.
Yeah.
And like her whole, eventually she like goes up to Sunbeam and is like, you know, why don't you join our discussion next time? Why don't you come to the QAnon meeting, Sunbeam?
That's seriously what it feels like. Ah!
It's yikes.
It's big yikes. And I think that does tie into my next note, which is that there's a little bit of immigration stuff in here.
Definitely.
There's parallels with this changing clan stuff. I'm not sure if that's the writing team's intention or if they were more thinking of it about being about like moving somewhere new and being in like a new neighborhood or whatever, but it really feels like, you know,
yeah,
there's a lot of insularity, there is a lot of exclusionism, a lot of like us and them.
There's a lot of like bloodline stuff.
There's so much bloodline stuff, and there always has been, but it feels the tone is different here.
It feels different. Yeah, it's definitely there's definitely a different tinge to it.
Which of course means if it is immigration stuff that we can add immigration law to the list of Cat Society innovations, just as a side note.
Right, of course. Naturally. Still waiting on those mechs.
Still waiting on those mechs. Come on, you guys can do it. You can get mechs in here. Yeah, I'm so interested to see where all of that goes. And if they pull off something interesting, if it works, they're biting off a lot, you know?
They are.
They're taking some big bites, and I'm really interested to see if they can chew them.
I agree. I definitely get the feeling Sparrowheart is gonna be one of our primary antagonists this arc.
We're getting
She
moms.
just has a vibe.
We're getting mom.
There's so many mom issues.
All three of them. They all
mommy
have
issues,
different
mommy issues. They're all having mommy issues.
And it's fun to see. It's fun to see the different ways, actually. Like,
yeah, they do all have different mommy issues. It's also just very funny to me that it's like every single one of them. Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust anything that Sparrowheart is saying. I'm suspicious of her.
it's rough. It's very get out of my country, go back to your own country.
Yeah.
Like, it really is.
The whole, like, why don't you come and listen next time and see what we have to say? Like, that feels like she is plotting a coup.
Yeah, it really feels like that.
Where was Sparrowheart on January 6th? Sorry. Oh, God.
It really got me. I like the moment when Sunbeam goes to tell Tigerheart that Sparrowheart was saying some shit, but then pulls back. I think that's a fun little note. There's some moments when that has happened in previous arcs where it has felt so arbitrary, and here it feels really like in line with her character in a great way.
Well, and it feels in line with how it has played out for her earlier, because she did tell Shadowsight about Lightleap, and then Shadowsight told Tigerstar, and then Lightleap's like, you fucking bitch, how dare you?
Yeah.
So it is definitely like she has had the experience of, oh, I'm gonna cause trouble for someone that I care about, which is then going to cause more trouble for me if I bring up something that I think might be an issue, but I can't be sure is an issue. Because she does the same thing when, like, she thinks Lightleap is, like, fighting a rogue or something, and is like, could that have something to do with Reed Whisker? And she's like, no, surely those two aren't connected. Like, I shouldn't say anything if it's just, like, a coincidence. And, you know, get her in trouble for something she didn't do or stuff like that. It's very interesting.
She's a real overthinker.
Oh, yeah.
Now that we're
relatable.
talking about it, like, and it's, yeah, so deeply relatable.
Yeah. I am so interested to find out how River Clan is gonna
what the
shake
fuck is
out.
going on in RiverClan?
So Reed Whisker was definitely murdered.
What if it turns out Misty Star was too? Like, she was old as balls. She could have just had a heart attack. But what if somebody poisoned her?
I mean, that'd be fucking crazy, dude.
That'd be crazy.
I'm so interested to find out. I love a mystery.
Yeah.
I love a murder mystery so much.
So good.
So excited.
I feel like there's some names that kept coming up. Podlight kept coming up. Splashtail kept coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Owlnose was mentioned a couple of times, and all of those characters were like in conversations with Curl Feather at various points. Mm-hmm. Who were the two that?
All right, Benoit Blanc.
There was one point also where who was it? Oh, it was when Sunbeam was on patrol with Hollow Spring and Hop Whisker. Wow, I'm pulling these names today.
You really are.
And Hop Whisker cut her paw. I think it was Hollow Spring and Hop Whisker. And they went over to RiverClan, and right before, like, specifically it got called out that Sunbeam was like, oh, there's a patrol right there. And then she's like, no, wait, it wasn't a patrol. It was just two RiverClan cats in there chilling, or they're not chilling, actually. It seems like they were in some sort of tense discussion that I might have interrupted. And I'm like, oh, what's going on there? And also, I can't remember who those two cats were, but I wonder if they're again.
And the patrol that went out with Reed Whisker that he supposedly, like, deviated from
has a lot of those same cats on it.
Was Fognose, Podlight, Splashtail, and Reed Whisker. And Curl Feather.
Mm-hmm. See, Curl Feather, Podlight, and Splashtail. I feel like there's something going on there.
Yeah. Interesting. Can't wait to find out. And, like, why Reed Whisker? He's never done anything to anyone.
It's gotta just be that somebody else wants to be in charge, you know? And it's just like, he's just in the way. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of sad that the most interesting thing that's ever happened to Reed Whisker is that he's been killed. Because I've always thought that Reed Whisker, the whole idea of, like, Misty Star making her son her deputy, and that relationship has always been untapped potential to me. Mm-hmm. But boy, this stuff is great. It was Lizard Tail and Night Sky. I found the page. Page 132. It was Lizard Tail and Night Sky. The RiverClan warriors turned toward her, seeming startled. Sunbeam was puzzled. Now that she had gotten closer, they didn't look like cats on patrol. It was as if they had been having a tense conversation and didn't welcome the interruption. What were they talking about?
What could they be discussing? There's so much drama. I'm very, very interested. And this is unfortunately the reason why I'm like, man, I wish it was just a Frostpaw book.
Yeah!
It's because I'm like, I want to solve the mystery. I want to dig deep in there.
Get Benoit Blanc in here.
Get Benoit Blanc. What would Benoit Blanc's warrior cat name be? It would have to be White something.
It's White Blanc. Something. Obviously, because of Blanc, yeah. I'm looking up synonyms for clue.
So Benoit means blessed. So let's think. I mean, he could just be White Star.
It could be White Star, and he's a leader.
Mm-hmm. I'm not mad at that.
White flicker? Like you have a flicker of an idea?
Ooh, okay.
White hunch.
White hunch?
That's not it. Yeah.
White Seeker? Ooh, that's no.
White can be tough. White can be a tough one to play
White's
with.
a tough one. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything else, or do you want to go ahead and take us to the Erin Corner?
I think that's all I've got. So yeah. Short and quick little dalliance into the Erin Corner today. Firstly, Frostpaw is the first main protagonist from RiverClan that we've gotten in the series so far.
Good job, Queen.
Good job.
Can't believe it took us this long.
I know, and I'm thinking about it. I don't think we've had a WindClan one yet.
I don't think we have either.
Oh, well, I mean, if you count Dawn of the Clans, technically, Greywing was in WindClan.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
So if you count that, but otherwise, I'd love to see more of both of those clans.
I'd love to see the other clans. I really do.
I want to see into WindClan so bad. Like, really see more into WindClan. I mean, we loved Crowfeather's trial.
I would love to see an arc where we do not have a ThunderClan POV character.
Yeah.
I pray for the day that we could just not have a POV character in ThunderClan.
It would be nice. It would be refreshing, you know? There's some other trivia stuff that seems more relevant for later episodes, so I won't bring them up, but I want to point out that of the 3 POV characters we get in this book, Sunbeam is the only one who doesn't have a separate page to list all of her trivia. This makes me scared as far as if her narrative will be impactful. Like, it seems like maybe she doesn't have as much going on as far as trivia, at least. So I hope I'm wrong. But I noticed that and I was like, yee.
Yeah. Yike.
And then this is not technically Erin related, but I happened to catch sight of a family tree, and we haven't talked about family trees in a while. Scorchfur and Snowbird have personally repopulated the entirety of Shadow Clan. They've had so many kids. If you look at the Scorchfur and Snowbird family tree, that shit's crazy.
Oh my god. Well, that would be why there's no Gull Swoop and Sunbeam Yuri. They're technically aunt and niece.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, their family tree is so big that Snowbird/family is its own page.
Wow, they really just out here having lots of kids. Huh?
They had so many kids,
I guess.
And so many of them survived. You know, a lot of the couples that we've had previously that have had a lot of litters or have had really big litters, most of those kids died young.
Looking at you, Sorrel.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, that's it. Just a quick little dip into the Erin Corner. I'll have some more stuff later, but there was a couple things that felt like it would be better to bring them up later. But what about sharing tongues?
So similarly to your first point, or your second point about like not going into the trivia stuff because it brings up later arc stuff, searching for this arc is going to be very difficult, because the names of these books are River, Sky, Shadow, Wind, Thunder, and Star.
That's tough.
So I cannot search one-word titles. So I've been, trying a couple of different keywords in like the Tumblr search and whatnot. ASC and then the title seems to be like the best result I'm getting. Mm-hmm. But this is the first book in the arc. It's very difficult to find things specific to the book. So I don't really have a ton on the Tumblr and YouTube side because I'm like, I don't want to like find things that I shouldn't be finding. And also like it is difficult to just search the title of the book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That being said, I did find some stuff. I found this one. It's a piece of art and it says the future I want, but I know I will never get. And it is Sunbeam, Nightheart, Blazefire, Lightleap, Polycule.
Yeah.
Art. I support this agenda. Mm-hmm. Let them all kiss.
Mm-hmm. Let them all. This Nightheart is really, really cute.
Yeah, he's just a little guy. We're getting got some great haunted ass Frostpaw art.
Yeah, man.
This one from B-Dub Star is like a very scared looking Frostpaw with curled feathers like circling around her face.
Yes.
Here's another one. This is from Paws Clause. It would be really fun. It would have been so funny if Reed Whisker hadn't died, but instead been on his way back to camp, saw Misty Star was dead, and noped out of there to be a kitty pet. We've got another one that's Hazel Whisker -Designs on Tumblr. It says a day in the life of River Clan. And it's Misty Star's death, and you've got Tiny Frostpaw trying to do compressions.
God, yeah.
And Mothwing running in with the herbs, and they're like, Duskfur, you killed Misty Star, you bastard. Very fun.
Duskfur, Curlfeather's mom. I'm just saying.
A lot of folks over here yelling that they don't want Nightheart and Sunbeam as a ship. Gang, I fear that is where we are headed.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's already starting to happen. I'm sorry. They're the two protagonists, male and female characters that aren't medicine cats. This has been the trend.
You gotta accept it. Like sometimes you just have to. You have to accept it into your heart, or you'll never find peace. I think they have potential.
I think they have potential. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt for now and see where it goes.
I want to believe.
Someone crab raved that Misty Star had died. So unserious. And then this one, Mothwing continues to be the most beautiful RiverClan cat, and it's the quote of Frostpaw spun around to see the RiverClan medicine cat, Mothwing, standing behind her. There was a look of impatience in her beautiful amber eyes. It's like, gang, she is so pretty, though.
She is so pretty.
She's so pretty. AO3 has 11 fics for this book in particular. A couple of them are AUs or canon divergent sort of things where they change something. There's a couple that are about Frostpaw and her siblings. I thought we didn't really talk about it, but there's a nice moment after Curlfeather dies where her siblings sneak into the medicine den to sleep next to her, and they're like, we're all we have left. Which, funny enough, does remind me of a terrible thing that one of my dad's former coworkers said when my grandmother died. Which was, my grandfather died before my grandmother did, and after my grandmother died, one of my dad's coworkers, and she didn't mean it in a bad way, but she did say it, and I guess you're all alone now. I was like, no, he's not. Oh, Lord. It's like, hi, wow, okay. That's crazy work.
Wow.
But it was a very sweet moment in the book, and I'm glad to see that there was some love for her siblings in there. There's a little Heather Tail Lionblaze fic about the code change meeting about, it's legal for us now, should we get together, is what I'm assuming this fic is about.
Wow.
I did not read it, but interesting. And I did a quick search on how many fics each of our protagonists has. Sunbeam has the fewest with 63.
That's still not, not bad.
No, that's still not bad. Nightheart has 78, and Frostpaw has 87.
The people love Frostpaw.
The people love Frostpaw, and they should.
Yeah.
Storygraph has, I think it should round up at this point, 3.99 stars.
That's a tough one.
Give it the 4 stars. With 360 reviews. The first review that made me die laughing was one that was tagged "did not finish." This was a roguelike library run and was the only first in a series that my library had. It felt like a dream that I just woke up from, and I can't really remember it because there were 5 different plot lines that were not clearly ordered in time. And just when I thought I'd worked out the context, we were back at the opening event. I cannot imagine picking up this book as my first foray into the Warrior series.
And seemingly not knowing anything about it. Seemingly, probably never having heard of it before.
The amount of context that is missing, that you do not have. Can you imagine?
Just imagine everybody talking about Ashfur. You're like, who the fuck is Ashfur?
Who the fuck is Firestar? And why does Flamepaw care so much about him?
Who the fuck is Firestar?
Y'all, I feel so bad for this person.
Oh, that's
But they did write a very funny review, so you know what? I guess we win in the end.
Shout out. Sorry you didn't finish, but I get it.
Yeah. It's been so long since I've actually hungered for the next installment instead of just needing to read the next one out of mental illness, aka Warrior Cat Obsession.
We both have that mental illness. That's why we're making a podcast.
That's so true. I love how Misty Star is here to be called old and then died getting into a fight on Twitter. I love it how RiverClan is just falling apart while 2/3 of the rest of the book is just about Sunbeam going through rejection and Flamepaw failing to catch prey.
That's true.
It's truly how it feels. And then this is the last one is, if you've ever had a relative ask you to sit in on a conversation about how good America was 20 years or something ago, then I'm sure this book is relatable to you.
Fuck. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about how it is. But it seems generally general positive reaction from the fans.
Yeah.
There's, obviously people are a bit tired of the protagonist falling in love thing that's definitely going to happen.
Mm-hmm. I get it, but also I don't know. I'm weak. I don't mind it. I kind of like to see how I like to put the dolls together sometimes.
Sometimes you gotta. But yeah, overall, it seems like people are far more compelled by whatever's going on with Frostpaw.
Yeah.
But definitely general positive reaction, I would say.
Heck yeah.
Which honestly tracks from what I've seen in general example of like Starless Clan being, as far as I've seen, pretty popular.
Yeah, I see a lot of fan art of Frostpaw like sprinkled into everything when I'm looking at, you know, other art and stuff for the other previous arcs.
Definitely. And then, as I mentioned, I did not search on YouTube because I'm 100% certain, given that this is a mystery, that the videos will definitely be
we'll spoil stuff,
focusing on later books in addition to this one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you want to take us to our Warrior Cat of the Week?
Sure thing. My Warrior Cat of the Week was Curlfeather. Found so much of what was going on with her to be very interesting. And like we talked about earlier, I was so ready for her to be set up to have a huge sinister role in this arc. And then she died. And why is she telling her daughter not to trust? What does it mean? Mm-hmm. So she was a real standout. And also I like her name, and I like to think that she has like curly ears that look like curly feathers. I like
that too. I think that's what the Chinese covers had too, is she's got curly ears on there.
Yeah, big long tufts.
Big long tufts of ears.
Yeah.
My pick was Curlfeather was my second choice, but my top pick is Frostpaw. I'm obsessed with her. I'm 100% on the Frostpaw train. Choo-choo. Leaving the station now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we had the same top two, just that we flopped it around.
We switched them a little.
Mm-hmm. The mother and daughter duo standing out real strong in this book.
Yeah.
Man, what's going to happen?
I know. I'm so interested to find out.
Me too. Should we do predictions? Because neither of us know.
I mean, yeah, sure. Let's do some predictions.
I think my prediction is sort of what I've already laid out, which is that like that gaggle of like Podlight, Splashtail, Curlfeather was in there, Duskfur I think is involved. I think all of them have something to do with Reed Whisker's death, definitely, and maybe even Misty Star's death. Something happening to cause Misty Star to have a heart attack, which is what I'm assuming she had, is not out of the question. So that's my big prediction.
I agree with you. I think specifically that I think the reason that Curlfeather said not to trust anyone is that perhaps Curlfeather went rogue in trying to like prop up Frostpaw so much and was like, oh, they're gonna turn on you. I do think Curlfeather is the one who killed Reed Whisker. That's my prediction.
Ooh, I like it.
And I think Curlfeather left that star-shaped leaf in Frostpaw's nest.
Absolutely.
A la Hawkfrost.
Yes, because she even prompted her. She was like, you've had a long day. Go and rest in your nest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Other prediction is that Sparrowheart is going to try and take advantage of you can depose a leader by like calling for it and try and get Tiger Star ousted, but it's not going to work.
Oh, she needs that.
And that's going to turn her on the path.
She doesn't have the votes, you know. She's not campaigning. She's not going to get that 2/3 majority.
Yeah, exactly. And then I feel like Nightheart is going to end up leaving ThunderClan to join ShadowClan.
Mm-hmm. That feels...
That's my predictions there.
That feels right. We'll see how it goes.
I would like it if it were the other way around, because I feel like it would mean a lot to like have Nightheart fully accept being in ThunderClan.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's more likely that he would leave.
Yeah. All right. Good predictions. Can't wait to see if they come true.
Yeah.
Should I take us out now?
Do it up.
All right. If you have thoughts, opinions, questions, or memes to share with us, you can write to us at pawsandclawspod@gmail.com. That's paws as in what a cat has, claws as in the part of speech, pod as in podcast. We are also on Blue Sky at Paws and Claws and on Tumblr at Paws Clause Pod. Listeners who are 18 years and older can come join us on Discord, which will be linked in the show notes. We are brought to you by the TWG Podcast Network, which you can find at theworstgarbage.online. You can find me on Tumblr or Blue Sky at Humble Goat and see the art that I do, including our podcast cover art, at scoutwilkinson.myportfolio.com.
And you can find me on Blue Sky at plot-twists or on Tumblr at antique-romantic. Our next episode will be out in 2 weeks, where we will discuss A Starless Clan Book 2, Sky. Read along by buying the book from a local bookstore or checking out a copy from your local library. Until then, dear listeners, may StarClan guide your paws.
TWG, the worst garbage